Hi. Good morning. We are here at Shabbyology today. My name is Jackie. I'm the owner of Shabbyology, a local store, home decor and gift store in Covina, California. And today I wanted to share with you, you guys may or may not know, but I am an elite retailer for Dixie Belle chalk paint products. So, chalk mineral paint. We got to say it right because, some of these people get mixed up with the words and you could get in trouble. So anyway, so what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you guys how you can save some big bucks on upholstery, okay? So I have tons of chairs here. We've had a settee before. We've had all kinds of, different, all kinds of different chairs that sometimes we do go ahead and reupholster them, but we have painted our upholstered chairs as well. So I wanted to show you, I have two chairs here today that I want to show you how you can literally paint on the fabric of the upholstery and it will last forever. I've even painted my outside last year. I painted my cushions on my front porch rattan chairs. They're doing great, perfect. Sometimes the sprinklers get on them, sometimes the cats lay on them, but they're still doing strong, right? So here's what I want to show you. There's no one on, but hey, I'm still going to keep going because I could talk to myself too all day long. Doesn't matter. So what's the one thing I saw where it says, if you see me talking to myself, just remember I'm self-employed, so I'm having a employee meeting. Okay. So anyway, let me show you. Let me get you right down here. And so now, let me see if you can get this a little bit better. Let's see. No, that's about it. Okay. So here's how you see how this side is the original fabric, okay? This was, you can even say, look at the upholster. We sent these out to get upholstered, and unfortunately something happened to the upholsterer, so we had to get them back. And whenever he picks up our pieces, he'll write the name on it. Well, this is in ink, okay? But I don't care. You'll see. So this fabric is a like a polyester fabric, okay? Doesn't have any loose threads. Yes, there's some patterns in here, some little visible, little decor. And I don't know if you could see this. Let me just see if I can change this a little bit because I really want you to see this before and after thing. Okay, now, this is the part that I haven't touched yet. Now, when we first got these chairs, we, because we had them on the floor, not necessarily to sell, but just to use for decor, but we cleaned this with an upholstery fabric, okay? We knew that we didn't have to put a lot of time and energy into cleaning it because we were going to get reupholstered. But what you may or may not be able to see is that there's some even yellow spots. And I'm sure that's due to the cleaning of the upholstery cleaner, okay? So anyway, so you can see this side, right, is kind of a faded print. And then this side is the piece that this half I've already painted. Now, this is just one coat, okay? So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you how to start with your first coat, okay? Then we're going to do a second coat. And then, of course, as you can see here, I've just painted half the chair, okay? This is in our sawmill gravy, and this is our French linen. So again, I'm just showing you, the differences, and who, what it is. So this is the French linen. This is not. So here's what you do. Now, let me just bring this down, okay? Scoot you back just a little bit so I can have some room here. So what you do is, when you have a fabric like this, or you're going to paint anything, you have to moisten it, because that helps the paint to get down into the fabrics, okay? So I literally just take my continuous mister and you just wet it, okay? Nice and good, because that's what's going to help. Remember, our paints are water-based. Most paints are water. And you really want to get a good, you don't want it where it's going to be sopping wet, that it's going to take days to dry. You want it moist enough so that, I can touch it, and it's got some, see, I already did this because I got a little bit of paint on there. So then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my, now, you can use whatever kind of brush that you want. I happen to prefer, I just use these artisan brushes that I have. And I know, see how it's kind of flared out a little bit? That's okay, because I'm going to smush this, okay? You'll see. So as you start painting, okay? When you're painting, you are pushing down. And see how it flares out my brush anyway, okay? And you just keep rubbing. Look at, our paint covered my name, okay? You want to really, really get in there, okay? Now you may have noticed I didn't tape anything on this chair yet, because I generally paint my fabric first, and then I paint the body. But I'm sorry, I usually paint the body first, then I paint the fabric. However, this time I didn't do it, okay? You see how I'm just rubbing it in here? That's all you do. And it is nice to go in a circular motion, because remember, this is fabric, so you have to get into all the little, fibers and where it's woven and stuff, okay? I'm going to use a little bit more water on my brush. Now, a lot of people, they'll either wet their brush, wet their surface, or wet their paint. I have a tendency to do a little bit of all of them. So I'm just wetting this so I can get a good bit of paint. This color that I'm using on this cushion is French linen. It pairs very well with this sawmill gravy, this lighter color that is up on the wood of the chair, or the frame of the chair. And now, with different paint fabrics, what will happen is, I just want to show you what good coverage, okay? Okay? Sometimes I go like that after I've already pounced it in. You're not really pouncing, you're smushing it in. Okay, you see how, and I'm putting pressure in, kind of swirling it. I just find that, to me, the shorter the bristles, the better. Instead of using a regular paintbrush, right? Because you want some firmness, in my opinion, on the paintbrush, so that when you paint it in. Now, hello, I see two people. I don't know who you are, but thank you for chiming in this morning. Now, people always say, oh, can you paint on fabric? Well, I can tell you right now, I've got 5,000 pieces of clothing that have paint on them. So yes, you can paint on fabric. Okay? And in this case, now, none of my clothes I have to have wet first before paint gets on them or stays on them, but it's true. Hi, Bonnie. Thanks for watching. So I'm just going to go here to this back section. And let me tell you, if you have a piece of furniture that that you want, let me see, move it this way. See, I'm just coming in here. If you have some furniture, now, I am not going to paint a couch. I'll tell you that right now. That's just way too much work for me. However, I am well aware that people have done it, and it has turned out lovely. And, okay, so I have one coat of paint on this. Now, let's see. One, I can't even tell where my name was. It was down here somewhere. Oh, maybe right here. Can't even see it. And that's just one coat. Okay? So now what happens is this first coat you're going to let dry. Okay? Now, when you have fabrics that have like polyester in it with like this fabric, oftentimes what happens is, or let's just say if it's a cotton fabric, okay, or linen or something like that, when you put water, or in this case we're putting paint / water too, the little tiny fibers will stick up, okay, because the moisture brings that fabric up. So what you do then is that then you would, after this dries, you would sand it. Okay, we have a sanding sponge that's a 220 grit, and you would lightly sand it. Now, I don't have to sand this one because the fact, remember this side has one coat on, okay? Now, I don't know if you can tell or not, but there's still some little bit, it definitely needs 2 coats, okay? Because there's still some of that little bit of yellow that, remember, was on this side, that's on this side. So when you have to, this doesn't have any little fibers sticking up. So you don't necessarily have to sand it. Now, right in here, there's a little bit of roughness. So I'm just sanding it lightly, okay? Because I'm going to get ready to put my second coat on this side. And let me see here. Yeah, just go all the way around. It feels, I mean, you would never know. It kind of almost feels like, I want to say, I don't want to go as far as saying it's leather, but it feels very nice and cushiony, okay? So let's put the second coat on this side, okay? This side is drying. Now, on the second coat, I don't have to moisten this like I did here. I may put some more water maybe in my paint or on my brush just for it to glide smoother. But you don't have to wet this again, okay, like I did this side. All right? And now, our paints come in 8, 16, and 32 ounces. You will rarely see me paint out of one of our containers. I've always put it in a separate container. Okay, so let's start over here, huh? Now, in this case, you don't have to necessarily push down as hard as you did on your first layer. But you also don't want to just go like this either, okay? So, again, because you want to get into that, into those, you know, the fabric. Come all the way down. Okay. And this will take, well, let's just say probably, well, if I put the fan on this, this will dry, gosh, within an hour or two. And then I could go and do a second coat. Now, I did end up, you'll see, I don't know, I'm just a weirdo. I like things, depending on certain applications, I ended up doing a third coat. Only because I just wanted to, I guess. I mean, it looked good, but I just felt I wanted a third coat. Okay. Just get in here. All right. I need some more paint, so let me get some more paint in my little container. Well, I hope you guys had a good week so far. This is Friday, so it's the start of your guys' weekend. This is basically the start of my week. Oh, no, come on. Of course, it's not going to, you know, just like children. They're great when, as soon as company comes in, they start acting up, right? Okay. I'm wetting my brush again. Just tapping. A little bit off. Okay. And the reason why you add a little bit extra, you don't, like I said, you don't have to spray it like I did the first coat, but you don't want to put thick, heavy coats on either, okay? And you'll see, let me get this one done, just so that if you guys have any questions, I can see my monitor. Hi, Tina and Tony. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, just I can see my camera today, so I can answer any questions. And let me tell you, it is, well, I love to paint anyway, and the part of that I like about painting is just the transformation, whether it is, you know, a dresser or a table or a piece of upholstered fabric like this as well. I love the transformations that paint gives us and the choices. Now, could I, you know, in a year from now or 6 months from now, say, oh, I don't like this color, I want to redo it? Absolutely. Absolutely you can. And, oops, see? Just by habit, I wet the fabric, but that's okay. Doesn't matter. Now, again, brushes are always a personal preference. Some girls use the big brushes, the big handle brushes. I don't know. I just feel like I have more control with these smaller brushes. And I'm just going to go lightly like this, just to make it look somewhat nice. Let me come back over here, double check. Oh yeah, see? I got to do this back side. And you'll see, one you've already learned. I forget to turn the, when I move, I forget to move the camera so you guys can see too. And this has some piping, and everything was in well intact. There's no repairs whatsoever. I think there was like a couple little threads coming, and I just trimmed them, no big deal. This is a well-made chair. And don't freak out because I'm getting paint on the wood. I'll be painting that last. Okay. So there is our, this is a one coat. It's still wet. This is the second coat, okay? And of course it's wet. This won't take as long to dry because remember I didn't moisten the cushion before like I did this one. So now, while this is drying, this is when, like I said, now normally I paint the frames first, then I paint the fabric. However, sometimes it doesn't matter. I got kind of mixed up on this yesterday. I was doing it while I was helping customers, and I always forget what I'm doing. So, okay. So now that's it, right? So you let here's the first coat. This is the second coat. You let them both dry, okay? Now, I had already, before I started painting, I had already gone over this lightly with the sandpaper, just very lightly. Again, I really wouldn't have had to do it with this fabric because there weren't any little fibers that were coming up. If you'll know it as soon as you start putting the paint or the water and the paint on that, the little fibers will stick up if it's more of a cotton fabric. This really didn't have any little hairs, or fibers coming up. So it really didn't need to be sanded, but of course, you can do it, if you wish. The sand, they say that the sanding does kind of help, just like when you're painting furniture and you have to lightly scuff sand in between coats. So it's, again, personal preference. This particular fabric was a poly, so there weren't any of those hairs, okay? So when you're painting, so now let's go over to my sawmill graving. And again, I'll have to step back here a second. Before I did anything on this, I washed this piece of furniture, this chair. I washed it with our Dixie Belle white lightning cleaning product. You can use basically any cleaning product that you wish. What I want you to remember, though, is that when you're washing a piece of furniture, you want to make sure you rinse. Because not only do you want to get all that dirt off, you want to get all that cleaning product off as well. If you don't, you're really going to be mad because the paint won't adhere as nicely. And, I've even seen it down the road where, I get customers all the time. Well, it came off. Well, did you rinse it very well? So that's always, I tell them, rinse. So anyway, so this is, like I said, this color the seat is French linen, and then this body is sawmill gravy. Now, what I'll show you is the next step when these cushions are done, okay? So here's our half and half table, or chair. Here's my little rolling table. So here is what you do after you've got all your coats of paint on. Okay, now you can see what I did here is I kind of did the two-tone effect. This is the chair. Oh, it feels just lovely. I put the French linen here and the French linen here and a little bit of highlighting here. All I did was just use my finger and just kind of went like this. Okay, so now you say, well, what's the next step? Now, to me, this still feels fine. It almost feels, you see how it's all, and in some spaces you can't see 100% of the pattern, but, so now what you do is, this is your next step. Now, here you can tell, let me show you, where I did put tape around all the areas, okay, because this was my final coat on the cushion, and this next step, I don't want any, even though it wouldn't hurt it, I just left the tape on here so you can see, okay, all right, so now this is what you do. We use our easy peasy spray wax. Okay? Literally, it's a spray wax. Now, what you have to know about this product is that, hi Grace, thanks for watching, that this is a clear matte spray wax. Now, can you use this wax up on the wooden parts? Absolutely. Can you can use it, we're going to use it for the fabric, okay? I'm not going to use it on the wooden parts today, only because I'm going to do something a little bit, I might just use regular top coat, you know, our clear coat on there. But you can use this whenever you work on any fabric. Like a lot of the girls now are painting on aprons. Well, you have to put this on because that's what helps makes it soft. Because that's the whole thing is, well, is it going to be crunchy and is it going to be, you know, hard? Well, this is what makes it soft. So when you have this easy peasy spray wax, you have to shake it, okay? Now let's see if you can hear it. I don't know if you can or not, but watch. You have to shake it, oops, until you stop, it stops making a noise. Okay? Okay. Now, it's not like it's bells, okay? You can't hear it like that. But, so now, you can take this spray part off and brush it on if you like. I'm just going to spray it on. Now, there's not any particular special thing you have to use. I just happen to use a sponge, this type of thing. I get these, you know, at the dollar store or whatever. I just use this because, and I don't reuse it only because it's like, I just don't want to. What if this color, or for some reason, it went to a different color or something like that. But anyway, so here's what you do. So, you start in one section. You got to learn to start in a certain section because if you're anything like me, then you forget, like, oh, did I already do this part or did I already do this? So anyway, so also every time you pick this thing up, if I go to do this and I want to do a second coat of this after it's dry, you want to shake it, okay? Now this dries in 30 minutes and you may reapply in an hour, as many coats desired, and it cures in 6 hours. So literally by the end of the day, this will be nice and ready to go, okay? So it says shake well, spray a light mist on a 2 by 2 foot section and spread evenly with a clean, dry cloth, okay? That's if you're going to do it like on a flat piece of furniture. I use this because it has a tendency you can get it down into the fibers, okay? Versus just a plain cloth. So you just simply spray it on, okay? You can see, hopefully you can see some of the shine. I'm just only going to do half. And then I'm going to take this part of it, and I'm just going to kind of, you're kind of putting some pressure on, okay? Mostly the pores of the fabric are already full because it has paint on it, right? But you want to, I still like to kind of push it down a little bit, okay? And to me, using something like this type of thing instead of a cloth, I feel I can, this is a little bit more dense, so it kind of helps to get down in there, okay? Okay? In fact, I can already kind of feel the difference. So let's do this side. Shake it again. Just, it wouldn't hurt to shake it every time, right? It's just my habit. Every time I just pick it up, I shake it. Okay? Again, I go in a circular motion, a little bit of pressure. And if there was a type thing of touch TV, you would be able to feel this when it's dry. Like it says, after 6 hours, it'll be cured. I probably, after an hour after this first coat, I'll probably put a second coat on, only because I'm a second and third coat type of person. And there you go. That's it. I don't know if you can tell, you can see there's a little bit of a shine, okay? It will dry, it will not dry shiny. It will dry like a matte finish, and that's it. I mean, the hardest part about this is waiting for all the steps to dry. So this is the finished product with one coat of the Easy Peasy Spray Wax. Like I said, in about an hour, 2 hours, based on my customer load this morning, I'll put a second coat on, and by the end of the evening, this will be done. I will be putting, I could use the Easy Peasy Spray Wax up on the furniture part of it, the wood part of it, but I'm going to use just our top coat for up here, okay? I hope you can tell the contrast. The background is a little weird, but wait. You see how I did this part of the chair, the sawmill gravy, all up in here, and then this, and these little bits of ornate stuff. I just used the French linen just to make a little contrast, you know. So, and that's it, okay? Yeah. Now, I want to show you, I want to show you the first chair. You can already tell. Yeah, you can really tell the first coat and the second coat. Hopefully you can tell. Yeah, you can see the line. So this is the one we just did with the second coat. This is the first coat. And you know, obviously you can tell. First coat or one coat, two coats. So I will, now that I've done the video, I'll go ahead and do the second coat on here. Let this dry. And possibly this chair will be done by today. And then, like I said, I'll finish putting this on here. Again, you could do whatever you like. I could have left this all brown. No, I wanted it painted. This is our French linen color, and this is our sawmill gravy. And they pair very well together. And it's interesting because sometimes, especially when you put it with this French linen, this looks like it's a cream color, but in certain lights, it also has a little bit of a gray, which helps, you know, complement with this French linen. Hi, Yvette. Thank you for watching. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Well, you know what? I'll let this dry. This is the second coat. So again, now what I'll do here, see, I didn't tape any of this section. I'll do my first coat all on this. I'll finish this. And then I'll do my second coat on the chair frame part. Let that dry good. Then I'll put my tape around and then do my third coat on here and my waxing. Okay? And that's it. I mean, it literally, I know it's very intimidating because hi Rachel, thank you for watching. I do understand that it can be intimidating at first, but just practice, like, even if you just get a piece off the side of the road or whatever, and you just want to practice on this, it's fine, do that. But I know of a person they did their whole entire dining room chairs. They did two of their, what do you call those, wingback chairs in their living room. You can do this with outside stuff as well. I did my outside cushions for my front porch on my rattan chairs. I used the cushions were like a black and white floral. Well, they had been faded. They were that Sunbrella stuff, so they don't get quite as soft like a regular fabric will, because that Sunbrella already has kind of like a canvas feel to it. But it doesn't matter. It was still soft. You can sit on it and everything. So I did my pillow and my cushion for my front porch last year, and I went from a black and white floral, faded floral fabric print to a black and white stripe. And it is still doing great. The cats lay on it. Sometimes a sprinkler gets on them. It works great. And again, all I did as far as the protectant on that was the Easy Peasy Spray Wax. And so that's it. I mean, look how cute this is. Well, you know, the final one. Anyway, so listen, girls, if you I wanted to remind you guys also that I do have a YouTube channel. I'm just starting out. I just kind of barely put my videos on there, but I wouldn't mind it if you'd swing over and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And it wouldn't hurt my feelings either if you went over and sprinkled, you know, my videos to some of your other friends and family. And gosh, went by faster than I thought. So, well, I was a little bit more prepared today. So anyway, I'm a store owner in Covina, California. You can certainly call me. You can certainly text me or whatever, or message me if you have any questions about the Dixie Belle products. And next Friday, I'm not quite sure. I have to tell you, I did not have this planned for this week. I had a little table that I was going to do, and it sold. So, hey, that's it, you know. So I had to do this just a week earlier. So I'm thinking next week probably, let's see, that's still in February. I'll probably do another paint project, probably a small little table. I think, yeah, I can do this. Or I might do, there is a desk over there I might do. And then when we start get closer to March and stuff, we'll go back to doing some crafts and stuff. And that's it. So also, if you guys are in the area, please swing by and visit us. Our spring open house, which means when we'll have a lot of our Easter stuff out, will be March 12th. That's a whole day event. We also have visiting vendors outside in the parking lot. If you are local and you sell items, let me know. We do have a few more spaces available. So anyway, I'll let you guys see, this is almost dry. I mean, it's not gonna be hard at all for me to go ahead and finish this. I'll put a second coat on this side. I'll do a third coat on this, you know, get it all caught up to the third coat, finish painting this, and both these chairs actually will be done today. Won't that be cool? So anyway, you know, and you have to remember, honey, it's all just paint. If you don't like it, repaint it. Okay, that's what I tell everybody. And God knows I've repainted quite a few things. So anyway, that's it. Hi, Grace. Thank you. And I'll see you guys next Friday at 9 o'clock. And have a great weekend. Everybody, please, please, please be safe. And have a fun weekend. All right, guys. Thank you. See you later.